Hello everyone, Guyan here from Genome Studios, here with another O3D intensive. This one's going to be pretty straightforward. We're implementing the Wise gem with audio. This one, it's funny because it was such a pain to do, but it's just because there's a lot of random kind of assumptions going on that until you know it, you don't know it. First and foremost, we're going to want to go to Wise, audiokinetic.com, Wise product, and download the Audio Kinetic launcher. And so I've already done that. I can pull this up, and we'll find ourselves going to, is it here, Wise? Here we go. Yeah, no, exactly. And here we've got our window. And now this is the very first assumption. Now you think, oh, great, get the latest version, get the latest stuff, advanced. No. The gem, the Wise gem, is only compatible with 2022 and earlier. So you want to specifically come down to this section here, not where they're recommending you get these nice things. I'm gonna dismiss forever, thanks. And so then, yeah, we'll see, look, if you click anything, it changes the window, so just be sure you're downloading the right thing. And this is because using the Wise Gem, in order to build the project, you literally need these settings. One of the things when you, I wonder if I can configure samples, modify. Here, so when you get the option to install it, you need to specifically pick this SDK C++ package along with the defaults, and then of course your platform that you're using. In my case, I'm using Microsoft, and then you install it with that. So you absolutely need this SDK C++ or else it will not work. So everything you've got now together, you've got your Wise, it is now 2022, and everything's working. I'll just launch Wise just for fun. And just, okay, whatever. Thanks, Wise. So now let's get into our intensives. First and foremost, we want to configure our gems on our project. And you can do Wise. Now, this is something to be conscious of. If you see your Wise and you haven't done anything with it, you'll notice that there isn't what is here, this little cloud. And so what's been happening with people is that they'll go like that, and it says Wise audio engine is activated, and then they save, and it says this says you'll need the installer, you'll need Wise, and that's okay, sure, great. And then it says you need to rebuild, and it's like, okay, well, you're going to build and all that stuff, but it's actually not going to work. And that's because you actually have to go in, and the way that I did it is I enabled it like this, and then I clicked this refresh up here. And after I clicked the refresh, all of a sudden, this Wise kicked in and gave me this update gem option. So then, I mean, in this case, I can force update gem or whatever. I hope it didn't mess anything up. And then you should have your cloud there, and you should have, as you can see, the little download arrow on it. So in this case, it's got the check mark because I just downloaded it. So now, now that you clicked the update, and now there's update and edit and uninstall, and the cloud is there and everything, now you actually do have Wise. Yeah, no, it's funny. You know. But anyway, so you've got that. Yes, now you need to rebuild. And so then this is where you actually needed the SDK for your Wise. So by building the project, we should be able to see it go without errors. I really hope so. Oh, building and stuff like that. What a trip. All right, so let's let that roll. So as we let that process, and I pick up my mouse that fell, there are some more assumptions now. So I hope that you haven't gone ahead and started your project on Wise, because when you install your Wwise gem, it actually comes pre-configured with a Wwise project that has all of the excess settings that they need to properly interface the gem with the um, system, third party, the middleman system. I don't know what they're called. Um, to properly um, uh, process the um, bank, the audio bank, to be something that uh, O3DE can actually read and use. Um, so I went through the process of setting up my entire audio bank and system and project and everything, only to find out that I needed to. So we've got our intensives going. It didn't crash, it didn't break. That means that we did have the correct Wwise version, and we properly installed the gem. Um, so both things do exist, thankfully. That's one of the many, many hurdles that was necessary for figuring this all out. Now let's let this Open3D project start back up. Thanks for following along so far. Oh, when I got this working, I was so relieved. It's something that I hold in high regard. It's like get the audio in as soon as possible so you can know what you're doing with it and where you need it and stuff. Um, and yeah, hitting all these barriers was quite a pain in that process, but we're through. We're through, and now we have Wwise and we're ready to go. So I'm gonna just go with the tutorial level. That's okay, because we don't really need to be here all too much. So some key details, and this is, I just wanted to show this to you so you're aware of how this all goes. When Wwise installs, it has some requirements. I think libs is one of them. Yeah, game audio. And it's got some stuff. And then there's sounds, Wwise. And this is where we've got some bank data and things. And then if you actually open an Explorer here to this bank, this is what was so mystifying. Oh, here we go. Yeah, sounds. In the sounds folder, there's a Wwise project beside the, you can't see it here. And this was the real clincher. This Wwise project is an entire Wwise project, literally. So all you have to do is now go here to projects. I have this one for another version that I have the license for. I'm going to get on that by the end of this lesson. But we're going to open other. We're going to go to whoa, O3DE. No. Where are these intensive? Oh, right beside it. Yeah, there we go. I need more coffee than I already have. Sounds Wwise project. There we go. Open the Wwise project. Here we go. It's got a bunch of stuff. It's because it's from an older Wwise project. Update, that's fine. And now we have our Wwise project. So this isn't a Wwise tutorial. You can find all sorts of Wwise tutorials, but I'm going to show you the very, very bare minimum. So first thing, you need designer and sound bank layouts. You're going to be swapping between them all the time. Go to designer, and here we go. We've got audio. We've got audio devices, master mixer, actor mixer, interactive. Apparently actor mixer is the one you want to go with, and the work unit is some other stuff. As you can tell, there's a tutorial gun blaster, and if we click play, pew, it works. And so clearly, this is where we want to do actor-based one-offs and triggers and stuff. You can always do, there's interactive music. You can always have environment audio and stuff like that. So we're going to go into, or right-click on the default work unit and import audio files. So I'm going to, I'm going to do a few things. I'm going to add folders. So then I'm going to go to my audio banks, and I'm going to go to my footsteps sounds, bonus human vocals, and click select. And you'll see here that it actually selects the folder, and it's going to turn it into a virtual folder, which is just organization in Wwise. And my phone alarm is going off. And then the other ones, they are just being considered SFX. Here you can always do some really cool things, like you can turn the folder into containers that will just automatically contain these, but because this folder has breathing and effort and jump and grunt and various things, I can't really pre-organize anything ahead of time. One last thing I'm going to also add, oh, how annoying, local dev audio, is ambience. I'm just going to do the wind trees loop, and that's there too. And now we're going to import. So we've got these here. And so then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go male, effort, jump, and fall, because that's going to be one thing. Select them all. I'm going to do new parent, random container. And this is how, jump, random. This is how you can trigger a pool of things. And then in the ambient wind trees loop, we're going to go to the general settings of it and go loop infinite. That's great. And then there's some weird stuff. So this is Wwise. I'm not really big a fan of this, but they have positioning. And so what you want to do is listener relative positioning, 3D spatialization, position and orientation. So basically it's going to be locking to your brain. So if you're looking forward, it's looking forward. If it's got, if you're looking sideways, it's looking sideways. And then 3D position, listener with automation. And it has some automation stuff, I think. I don't know. I don't even know if I need this, but I was just following a tutorial. And then in advanced settings, you can limit sound instances to 1 per globally, because this is ambient wind. So if you're going to play ambient wind twice, it doesn't make any sense. And you can do discard newest instance, so that if you call the wind trees loop a second time, it doesn't just cut off your wind and then start a new wind play. It just doesn't play the new one. So that's how we got the wind trees loop. Jump random, I'm pretty sure is just yeah, it's just random. Down in these details, you can just determine the weight and the voice and the pitch and the various things in the pool. And so we've got those things. Now, we've made the sounds, but we haven't made the events. So now that we've got our sounds like we want them, we can go to a new event. I'm just going to go for play for the jump random. And ambient wind, you can do a new event, play. If you want granular control just for the sake of it, you can go new event, stop. And so now if we go over to the events, we've got play ambient wind trees loop, stop ambient wind trees loop, and play jump random. Good. These ones are all pre-made ones that come with the project. And so we've got our sound set up. Everything else from this point on would be just refinement and polishing using the tools that Wwise gives you. So now we're ready to export it. Let's go to the sound bank layout. So now it's reconfigured your layout, and we have some stuff to set up. So over here we have, still our events, and if you wanted, we have this events viewer down here. And so then if we go here, we've got the default work unit and our default bank bus or whatever thing. And so in this case, it's got the play blaster shot that the tutorial comes with. So all you have to do is grab your ambient trees wind and drag it in, and your jump random, you could drag it into this list here or into the guy up there, and the stop ambient wind trees loop. Good. And then I'm pretty sure having the event structures media thing just kind of includes everything that it's linked to. So it does include the actual sound and stuff. So you can click Control Save, to keep the thing in. And now this is where we wanted to use this pre-made project. If you go into the project sound bank settings, you'll notice in this sound banks tab, there's lots of settings. Some of them may have already been set here, but in particular, this post-generation step. And for the platform, it has some particular code lines. These will be updated on the WiseGem documentation down the line. I've kind of been, with this effort, I've been helping kind of get this troubleshooting through. Um, but this just simplifies the process because it's already preset. Um, and so what this does is after it compiles the bank stuff, well, and it seems to put the sound bank paths in this Wise folder in particular, then it does some post-processing stuff to make O3DE actually able to process this. So because we have it already pre-set up, I don't need to worry about it. So then I can just click default and Windows and English just because this is the platform I'm working and you can generate checked, or you can just generate all and it'll do everything plus the Linux and whatever, but I don't need it right now. So then you generate checked and it says completed with messages, which is fine. If you scroll down, it should say so-and-so messages, 0 warnings, 0 errors, and 0 fatal errors. So that's fantastic. And so we close, and if we pull up our editor and we go into the Wise things, we find ourselves with this new English US folder, and sometimes depending on how enormous your things, sometimes there's like a media folder or something like that. So we don't know what's going on here in Wise or with the editor. How do we do this? All right. So we go into the tools and we pull up our audio controls editor. So the first thing we can do here is click reload. And when we do, we see our play jump random and our ambient trees winds and stuff, which is fantastic. And we have our default controls and stuff. Just for the sake of it, I'm just going to add a folder and we're going to call it intensive sounds. I'm not going to put an exclamation mark. It's probably going to break the system. And then we have our Wise controls here. So these aren't assigned yet, or like they can be assigned, and you can, I think, do some cool combinations of all sorts of controls together in one thing. But all we want to do, for the sake of it, because it's simple, is just drag the Wise control to the folder, and it makes a trigger of the control. So you can see that the connected control is play jump random. I don't know what the scope is. Oh, right, it's for the level, the O3D level scope. So I just global, and then the name, it just took the command name. So then we're going to take the play ambient trees loop, stop ambient trees loop. I'm not going to use the stop ambient trees loop, but here's a little pain. I'm going to just minimize this. So knowing knowing Unity, I went and did this ambience. And then you go add component and you go audio and you want to go audio trigger because obviously you want to trigger the audio and so you need an audio proxy. That's great. That just allows you to plug into the audio system. And so you've got your default play trigger, and I guess what you want is the play ambient wind trees loop. Fantastic. Default stop trigger, this is why we built it. Stop ambient trees loop. No obstruction type, you just want the wind everywhere, like because there's single ray and multi-ray, like if you're between walls and stuff, and then plays immediately. So yeah, let's play it immediately so we can see the ambient wind, right? I'm going to save this and click play. Oh, there's nothing. And guess why? Because that little switch doesn't actually work. This plays immediately just doesn't do anything. And so then I got the nice embarrassing message of like, hey, I'm not getting audio to work. What's the deal? And they said, hey, can you just trigger it in the audio controls editor? And I'm like, there's no play button anywhere. Well, guess what? If you just go over here and right click, you can execute the trigger. Oh, oh, who? I'm not hearing anything. Oh, curious. Okay, let's see if it was because we're missing the audio. Um, and Wintree's loop. Save, generate checked, 10 messages, no errors, O3DE editor, reload. No, I don't. Save all, file, reload. Tons of sounds. Oh, Why does this not have this? Default bank. Here we go. Oh, that's so weird. Add preload bank main, I guess. That's so strange. This wasn't like this. The preload bank was already there. Uh, refresh the audio system. There we go. So if for some reason there is no preload, um, there was in the last project I did. Um, you have to make your own preload so that the actual bank loads. Yes, but I'm gonna just say, just for the sake of clarity, um, this audio trigger does in fact not work. See, there's no audio, and I can still move. I can do all this stuff. So how do you do this? Well, okay, it's so simple. You just go to script, canvas. You still need this audio trigger. It doesn't need this or this. It doesn't need plays immediately. It just needs to exist here, which is kind of funny. And then we'll go to our script canvas, and I'm going to click new, Control-Shift-Save. Oh, geez. Local devs, intensives, assets. Oh, new folder, Wwise. So I'm going to do an auto sound trigger. And so then on graph start, we're going to go trigger audio, audio system, audio preload, audio trigger, execute trigger. That's what it is. And then for simplicity's sake, for us to be able to do things into the future, audio trigger name. And then we'll expose that. And then we can put that right there. And we're doing it to self. And we click save, minimize this. Auto sound trigger. Audio trigger name is going to be tools, audio controls editor, play ambient wind trees loop. Put that right there. Save. We can close this, save, and then. Jeez, I swear I know what I'm doing. Here, what I like to do. Oh, we're only halfway through. Sorry. I overshot everything. Guess what we need, of course, is where's the camera? Camera. We of course need to put a audio listener. And then if you don't put a rotation entity or a position entity, it just copies the camera, or like whatever it's plugged into, and it's enabled. Okay, let's try this once more. Le gasp. We've got our audio listener. We've got our ambience. Plays me, play ambient trees loop. Play ambient trees loop. Copy. Play ambient trees loop. Save. I don't know. I'm just going to quickly see this. Audio trigger name, source self on graph start. Audio trigger name gets set here. Save. Okay. For my sanity, audio controls editor, intensive sounds, play ambient trees loop. Oh, that might be why. Why are you not playing? So layouts designer, play ambient trees loop. That is in fact including plays there, audio, ambient wind trees loop, layout, sound bank, stop. Oh, I guess I didn't actually find the audio of it. Events. Oh, ambient wind trees loop, that's right here. Limit sound inches is 1. I'm gonna say 2, just for my sanity. And I think hold listener orientation might be it. Okay. Then we're at our bank here. Generate checked, completed, controls editor, file, reload, ambient wind trees loop. This is a very strange one. Anyways, we're gonna move on because that's I don't know why it's not doing anything. We have our listener, we have our everything. So for example, I'm just gonna switch this to where's our jump? Play jump random. We don't need that in there. I just wanted to get the way that it types it out. And I think this time it should, well, I guess let's put this at the player. Unit. Jump noise. What is going on here? I swear, I was doing this all just fine. Why are you not? It was just working. I'm so curious. I have no idea why this is not, let's see. Camera has audio listener, it's enabled. We've got our jump noise and the audio proxy. And it's that our sounds aren't, This is a curious one. Well, for the sake of intensity, let's pull up my game. Okay, so ambience. We have our auto player, we have our trigger. It doesn't play immediately, it's empty. We've got our audio proxy. For our controller's camera, we have an audio listener, listener enabled, everything is blank. And then if I go into audio controls editor, see I had global and this was the default auto load, and I don't know why you guys don't have that or why we didn't. And here's grass running and here's ambient trees playing. And so when I go in, oh, what did I break? Oh yeah. Oh, I see. That's fine. So let's go back into the intensives. It might be because I'm using the release version of of O3DE. My current project is on the developer branch. I'm going to quickly exhaust a few options, but basically I've gotten to the end of the tutorial because at that point you know how to trigger. We know how to trigger our sound triggers. Execute trigger, source self, on graph start. One of the things I like to do is time delay for 1 tick, and then done, because it lets things initialize, because what might be happening is that we're just not even talking to the trigger. Save, but then I'm still really unsure about this, why these, okay, now they're working just because I restarted the engine, so that might be what you need. And then let's just see if we can get this ambience again. I'm just going to copy the wind play wind tree loop, cut that out, put that into our trigger, save. Oh, there we go. And now we've got our ambience. So then literally the only thing we need to do is, I'm going to just totally hacky this, but where do we have our jump? Our jump right here. Oh, right, this was our teleport tutorial. Let's see if I still do it. If I click, yeah, when I click spacebar, I teleport. So good. Now we can go to our player controller script canvas, and we can go, say, for example, this would probably be something to plan out ahead, but jump sound name, and go to from component, and then we've got our get world translation. Where's the set world translation? Here we go, right here. And so then we can go trigger, execute trigger, source jump sound name at self. And this is a player controller. So then we can go to our player controller and we can go audio trigger, excuse me, add the audio proxy. And then we're going to get the jump name, jump random. I can't believe we got to the end of this tutorial, this intensive, it's happening. Jump random save, script canvas. Did I save the crisp? Yep. And now we've got our ambience and we're jumping. And that's how you can start using audio triggers and things. Of course, there's stuff later on in how you use these audio engines to be able to do, set parameters and stuff for pitch or for randomness or for, combat music intensity and stuff like that, that you can then feed back in through those triggers. So, you'd have in your audio controls editor, you'd have a turn on inside reverb or whatever, and then when you enter a box inside, it would say, you would play that trigger, and then you would now have inside reverb layered over top of your sounds. So that is everything for the practicalness, but these intensive are made for game developers. So I wanted to talk about logistics. So Audiokinetic is a third-party developer or solution provider, service provider, and they have Wwise audio processing engine, if you want to call it. Anyways, and what that means is that they actually have prices. So you now have to consider what you're going to be willing to do to have Wwise in your project. So first and foremost, of course, they have their indie tier. They have unlimited everything. They're trying to get you to learn everything. But most of all, it's for non-commercial projects, academic projects, home use, all that kind of stuff. So the production budget has to be small, and you're basically not selling anything or doing anything with it. So the next tier that you want to use for an actual production is the Pro. So this is the, hey, we're going to actually make something. And what happens is that this is between $250K and $2 million project. It's unlimited everything, blah, 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 blah. And then there's the royalty. So what it is that in this Pro, they say starting at 7K US, um, what it is that you get essentially tied to a representative of Audiokinetic, and they are your liaison into the licensing of this product. So when you register a project, any of these tiers, you have to identify the project that this tier will be worked on or used for. And along with that, you have to then include a pre-production time frame and a start of production time frame. And what that allows them to do is during pre-production, you have any time, you can use this stuff for free with the idea that you'll pay royalties when you release the game. But before that pre-production timeline is done, if you want to talk to them and pay them an upfront cost starting at 7,000. Of course, the liaison will then talk to you about how many team members you have, what the production budget is, what the expected return probably is, etc., and then start tuning that price point for you. But what that then allows is that it's arguably a one and done purchase. This upfront, let's say 10K US that you'll pay because you have a slightly larger team, means that when you go into production, even if the production takes 5 years, blah, 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 you don't have to pay anything additional. And then when you release the game, you do not have to pay a royalty. And the royalty that they have is 1% profits. And that seems, I say profits, it's whatever the thing before you start reducing taxes and all that stuff where they don't want your money at that point, the investors. But you have to be mindful, of course, that platform fees, so Steam and Epic Games Store and stuff like that, take their cut. And then, of course, we're with O3DE, but engines take their cut. So Unity and Unreal Engine takes their cut. So quickly, this 1% starts being 1% on top of another 17%, which starts being like, hey, you're not making any money here. So I wanted to point out some alternatives. So first and foremost, O3DE has O3DE mini audio. So the mini audio system, I believe, is the audio system. And that's essentially what we worked with, this audio controls editor with these sounds and stuff like that. So what the system, in a rudimentary way, allows you to do is just refer to these events just from audio instead of Wwise controls. So there's that. Someone else was trying to support another third-party interface. I just don't know I've never heard of it before. But then, and I don't know what this means because I actually don't know what Steam Audio is. But Steam Audio just became open source, which means that it has an open SDK. It has spatial audio with occlusion and all sorts of cool things. And then the funny thing is that it supports Unity, Unreal, C, Fmod, and then soon to be Wwise. So I don't know what it is, but because this is open source now, there's no doubt that it'll make its way to O3DE. So it might be possible in the future that you'll be seeing this video and going, hey, perhaps I could use just the base audio system with Steam Audio for my project. And that may allow you to cut out the need for any of this licensing or even the upfront costs. I know I'm trying to keep my budgets very lean, and being a Canadian, 10K, 7K US is pretty big hike. So I hope with all of this you are primed and ready for some audio juiciness in your games, and let me know what works, what didn't work, and hopefully in the future we will have some robust and vivid audio options that don't cost us upfront. Of course, Fmod would cost the same thing, so we're not that far off. Thanks for watching. As always, these are meant to be hard and fast, a little bit rude and crude, and stay tuned for the next ones. I've got some cool ones down the line as I keep learning new features and new systems. So thanks for coming, and till the next time. See ya!